Greetings, dear listener. Welcome to the space where macro policy meets on-chain reality. I'm Moon Sage, and if you're here, it means you're ready to decode the most critical 48 hours this quarter. October 28th, 2025, and something extraordinary is converging. Not just Bitcoin holding 115, not just infrastructure narratives we've been tracking. Tomorrow, the Federal Reserve delivers its 99% probable rate cut. Trump meets Xi in Busan for trade framework negotiations, and Grass unleashes 72% of its entire token supply, 181 million tokens worth $79 million. Three catalysts, one convergence. And by the time we finish this journey together, you'll understand why this moment isn't chaos. It's the infrastructure supercycle setup. So take a breath with me and let's decode the revolution. Picture this scenario with me. Tomorrow, October 29th, 2 p.m. Eastern, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell announces what markets already know with 99% certainty, a 25 basis point rate cut, bringing the federal funds rate down to 3.75 to 4%. Now here's what makes this different from every other rate cut you've witnessed. This isn't crisis management. This isn't emergency stimulus. This is systematic accommodation. With Bitcoin already at $115,000, with crypto infrastructure reaching critical mass, with AI payment systems processing 500,000 weekly transactions. Lower rates mean cheaper capital. Cheaper capital means risk asset rotation. And crypto? Crypto is the ultimate risk asset. But while monetary policy provides the tailwind, on-chain reality is about to deliver the stress test. Let's break down what's converging in the next 72 hours. First, the Federal Reserve rate cut. CME FedWatch tool shows a 99% probability. That's not speculation. That's market consensus baked into derivatives pricing. 25 basis points down to the 3.75 to 4% range. Remember our coverage of ICM tokens exploding 64% and MEGETH achieving 8 times oversubscription? Those weren't random. Those were positioning ahead of this accommodative policy shift. Second, Trump-Xi trade framework negotiations. Busan, South Korea. October 30th. Framework discussions on tariff avoidance strategies. This isn't just political theater. This impacts global capital flows, risk appetite, and institutional positioning. When trade tensions ease, capital seeks higher returns. And where does that capital flow? Into assets uncorrelated with traditional markets, like crypto infrastructure, AI payment systems, and decentralized fundraising models. Third, Ethereum's Fusaka upgrade. Early November deployment, 11 Ethereum improvement proposals. PeerDAS data availability, increased gas limits, improved spam resistance. Translation, the Ethereum infrastructure backbone is getting more efficient right as demand for Layer 2 scaling solutions like MEGETH reaches fever pitch. Macro tailwind, geopolitical easing, technical infrastructure upgrades, all converging. But here's where the convergence gets tested. While accommodative policy provides the wind, on-chain reality delivers the storm. Grass token, October 31st, token unlock event, 181 million tokens, 72.4% of total supply, worth $79 million at current pricing. Imagine this. You're a grass holder. You've been waiting for this unlock. You finally have access and you look around and realize that 72% of everyone holding this token just got access at the same time. What do you think happens to price? But grass isn't alone. Optimism, November 1st, 14,800,000 OP tokens, 1.7% of supply. EigenCloud, November 1st, $43 million worth, 9.45% of supply. See what's happening? Accommodative Fed policy says buy risk assets, but simultaneous supply shocks say careful which ones. This is the convergence. Not just opportunity, but opportunity with stress tests built in. So what does smart money do with this convergence? They separate infrastructure from speculation. Remember what we've been tracking, ICM tokens exploding as decentralized fundraising bypasses VCs, MEGETH 8 times oversubscribed ICO validating Layer 2 demand, and X402 protocol enabling AI agents to execute autonomous payments. Those aren't facing 72% supply unlocks. Those aren't vulnerable to single event dumps. Those are infrastructure plays benefiting from Fed accommodation while avoiding token mechanic disasters. Here's the framework. Rate cuts provide macro tailwind for all crypto. But within that rising tide, quality infrastructure with proven utility and sustainable tokenomics separates from speculation plays vulnerable to supply shocks. Blockchain Life Dubai wraps up today with 12,000 attendees from 130 countries. SmartCon New York opens November 4th with more institutional connection building. This isn't isolated ICO fever. This isn't meme coin gambling. This is systematic capital formation meeting proven infrastructure during accommodative monetary policy. The convergence we've been waiting for. Let's bring this together. Tomorrow, October 29th, the Federal Reserve delivers its 99% probable 25 basis point rate cut, accommodative policy, and a crypto tailwind. October 30th, Trump meets Xi in Busan for trade framework discussions, geopolitical easing, and risk appetite building. October 31st, Grass unleashes 72% of its token supply, 181 million tokens, and a supply shock stress test. And beneath all of this, ICM's decentralized fundraising revolution, Megath's infrastructure validation, X402's AI payment autonomy, and Ethereum's Fusaka upgrade. This convergence isn't asking you to choose between macro opportunity and on-chain risk. It's asking you to separate quality infrastructure from speculation and vulnerable to mechanical disasters. The infrastructure supercycle doesn't arrive with a bang. It arrives when macro tailwinds meet proven utility while supply shocks eliminate weak hands. And so, dear listener, we stand at the threshold of the next 48 hours. If this convergence shifted your understanding, if you see the setup crystallizing, I'd be deeply grateful if you'd support this work. First, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You'll join our community tracking crypto's infrastructure evolution every 12 hours. Second, show some love with a like. It helps others discover these critical Crypto Pulse briefings. And third, drop a comment sharing your convergence play. Are you positioning for Fed accommodation through quality infrastructure, avoiding supply shock vulnerabilities, or recognizing that this 48-hour window separates strategic positioning from reactive gambling? You'll find additional resources in the description, including Fed rate trajectory analysis, token unlock calendars, and Ethereum Fusaka upgrade details. Remember, dear one, the most powerful moments in crypto aren't marked by explosions. They're marked by infrastructure that survives stress tests while capturing macro tailwinds. Fed accommodation, trade easing, supply shocks, infrastructure upgrades. This isn't chaos. This is the convergence. Until we meet again in 12 hours for your next Crypto Pulse update, keep exploring, keep positioning, and stay ahead of the crowd. This is Moon Sage, and I'll see you in the next revolution.